It's midday. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the world. We are live on citinewsroom.com. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, and this afternoon I'm here with
Eno Safo.
Coming up, minority in parliament expresses fear Ghana could be heading into another round of economic turmoil as stalled negotiations with external creditors blocks release of second tranche of IMF cash.
Our people keep pushing that if we would want to go diplomatically and the government is not listening to us, then we will have to take to the streets.
Also coming up, Ghanaians go to the poll tomorrow to elect the assembly members for the next 4 years. Meanwhile, some residents of Kumasi have expressed mixed reactions about their participation in the elections.
So it's so important. I have to take part in our work.
This year election, I'm not going to. I've been voting for the past election, but this year's election, I'm not going to vote.
Still in the Ashanti region, over 60 shops raced down at Racecourse Market a week after a similar incident at French Line section of the Kumasi Central Market.
But during firefighting, we saw a lot of this stove and gas.
And later, Citi FM and Citi TV's rebuild phase of the voter relief initiative reaches milestone at Kpando Toko as shelter construction nears completion for flood-impacted victims.
As for Citi, Kpando will forever be grateful for Citi FM. I'm telling you the truth. We'll forever be grateful to you because you have really changed our lives and brought relief to us.
All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is live across the 16 regions of the country. In the Western region, we are live on Premier FM 100.5 in Takoradi, Beach FM 105.5 also in Takoradi. Bono region, this is Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani. Ashanti region, Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. Volta region, Akpini Radio 96.7 in Kpando. Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi. Northern region, this is Dasuma FM 99.1 in Yendi. Upper East, Word FM 88.3 in Zwarungu. Upper West, West Link 88.1 in Laura and Northeast region. This is Eagle FM 94.1 in Wale Wale.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for choosing us. The minority in parliament has asserted that the government's failure to service its external debt is causing a delay in negotiations with the International Monetary Fund for the second tranche of the $3 billion credit facility. Reports indicate that the IMF has rescheduled the board meeting to consider the release of the $600 million fund to Ghana to January 11, 2024. John Jinapor, the ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee, expressed concern that such delays could potentially undermine the government's effort in restoring the economy.
It does appear that government is struggling with a foreign component of our debt. And when we looked at the budget, government was supposed to pay about 12 billion in interest payments as of January to August. As we speak, they've paid only 4 billion, ostensibly because government has unilaterally suspended payment for a certain category of our external debts. And so when you see the budget deficit and the budget improving, it's not because the ministry or government has done anything good. It's just because unilaterally they've suspended payment. And that has a long way to affect the negotiation. So I'm not surprised that the negotiation is stalling. But if you want to negotiate with me, you must come to the table with good faith. Already you've decided that you won't pay me. It's like putting a gun to my head. But you see, the truth is that whilst you can bully and bulldoze your way through with the domestic section, the foreign creditors, they are very, very seasoned. You give them a promise, they've given your money. You can't just go to them and say, take a haircut of 40%. I'm also informed that China is not comfortable with the way the debt structure is going. China is pushing for equity. China is also pushing for a certain cutoff period. And that has become a problem. And the truth is that if this continues, it ultimately impacts on the image of Ghana. It will ultimately affect the currency and sometimes even the gains you've made from the domestic side will be eroded because when your currency depreciates, your foreign component in terms of ACD equivalent also increases. So I think the government must come with a clean heart, with good faith, with honesty, with integrity. And when they do that, we may be able to have some solution. But as it stands, it's quite obvious that things are very, very tough. And if it continues like that, it can derail all the progress that has been made so far.
John Jinap also called for a suspension of a 10-year contract between the Finance Ministry and the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited for revenue assurance services pending a probe by Parliament.
The minority has discussed this topical issue and will be moving processes in Parliament to ensure that there's full-scale investigation. Because we do not believe that there's value for money. This contract is a rip-off. This contract only ends up filling the pockets of greedy politicians and individuals, because just a couple of weeks ago, the Mines and Energy Committee visited NPA and were made aware that they've put in place enough systems, enough mechanism, enough infrastructure to ensure that all the loopholes and all the losses are safeguarded, and that they've even hooked up with the Ghana Revenue Authority to ensure that all those assurances are catered for. And so the question is that why would you need this? Even more importantly, it's turned out that the so-called 3 billion savings was nothing but a hoax. We cannot allow the taxpayer to be burdened with such unnecessary contracts that only go a long way to fill the pockets of individuals. And so we would advise that immediately that contract is suspended pending the parliamentary investigation. And when we go into it and we find out that indeed all those allegations are true, we would ensure that this contract is abrogated because it doesn't serve the interests of this republic.
John Jinap is the ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament.
Still on the matter, financial analysts have expressed deep concern as the government grapples with negotiating debt restructuring with its external bilateral creditors. The International Monetary Fund has rescheduled the board meeting to consider Ghana's second review under the fund program and the disbursement of the second tranche of the IMF loan to January 11, 2024. Despite significant progress with external bilateral creditors, particularly with China, sources indicate that more needs to be done to conclude negotiations, creating a significant hurdle in releasing the second tranche of the IMF deal. Finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Lord Mensah, has been speaking on the matter in an interview with Citi News.
You are a creditor, and you are anticipating what we call a restructuring, and then your borrower comes with such position. Of course, you may have to be a bit scared one way or the other. So we're not going to get it easy because we don't know what the finance minister was sitting on for him to make, such a statement. And so those external creditors are more, sophisticated, compared to, the domestic market. The domestic market, it was like monies don't have alternatives than government instruments. So he had his way. But, external creditors, we're not going to find it that easy. So, Ghana is desperately in need of, the 600 million inflows. And if we don't get it, the consequence on our exchange rate, on our economy in general, could be dire. And as a result of that, we all pray that we can get, the buy-in of China for the restructuring to go on so that those monies that have been earmarked.
Professor Lord Mensah is a finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School.
The Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry has commended the government and Parliament for approving $338 million for the redevelopment and expansion of the Accra-Tema Motorway project. The project includes construction works on the 5.7-kilometer George Walker Bush Highway and a portion of the Insarom Road linking the Neoplan interchange to Apenkwa. The chief executive of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry, says the project would significantly address the deterioration of the motorway, which often leads to traffic congestion and accidents.
This issue or this project has become an albatross on our neck for some time ago, and there was a lot of challenges in terms of the award of contracts. especially giving the contract to a foreign company, that the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry was not so much pleased about that particular move. However, series of engagements went on. We can be bold and proud to say that this contract has been awarded to a Ghanaian contractor as we can celebrate today. That tells us that the money in question will remain on the soil or in the soil of the country Ghana without its repatriations to a foreign land to create jobs elsewhere while our people struggle here. So largely, the approval of the loan for the construction work to start, which has already started, is a good news and a welcome news to the entire country, Ghana.
That was Emmanuel Cherry, the Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry.
Let's go to the Ashanti region, where close to 70 shops have been destroyed by a fire at the Racecourse Market a week after a similar incident at the French Line section of the Kumasi Central Market. The fire, which began at around 7 a.m. on Monday, spread to structures mainly comprised of metal containers where local spices, cowhide and second-hand clothing were sold. The Ashanti Regional Commander of the Ghana Fire Service, ACFO Henry Jiwa, revealed that preliminary investigations suggest that some traders used stoves and gas cylinders for cooking at the market, which could have ignited the fire.
Around 7:30, we had a distress call from our FMC, that is from our national headquarters, that there's a fire break over here, Racecourse. So quickly we had to dispatch Confanoche, which happens to be the process fire station. They go here and they realized the fire was also already well alight. So they quickly requested for assistance. So Menchia Fire Station was also dispatched, and then Bremen and headquarters subsequently. And we managed it, we got it under control and extinguished it. But we are yet to establish the cause and even the wares that they sell. But during firefighting, we saw a lot of this stove and gas in their, even one of the stove, there's even the soup on it, which may indicate even that it was even cooking as at the time of the fire.
That was the Ashanti Regional Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service, ACFO Henry Jiwa.
Now, flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has criticized the government for politicizing the distribution of premix fuel. During his build, the Ghana We Want tour in Axim in the Western region, Mr. Mahama expressed disappointment in the government handling of premix distribution, alleging political influence. He reiterated his commitment to improving the fisheries sector and promised significant changes if elected in the upcoming general elections.
When we set up the London Beach Committee, it was not politicized. Anyone could be a member, and when the premix arrives, it is distributed judiciously. But in the Akufo-Addo-led government, the distribution has been politicized. Only members of the ruling party benefit.
Now, so premix was a apel sikaha and that London Beach Committee. Obetia na fa baby from near Cotton.
Flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama.
The National Premix Fuel Secretariat has commended the Akufo-Addo government for showing a willingness to address issues related to premix distribution. According to Nana Abrakwa-Asare, the administrator of the Premix Secretariat, the current administration has introduced an automation system to address loopholes in the distribution process. He described former President Mahama's comments on the politicization of premix fuel distribution as unfortunate.
We all know premix fuel is highly subsidized. These problems have been with us, but if you look at the government or this government's commitment to solving the problems, I think it's unmatched. We talk about these automation systems that we are bringing in. These are solutions to the problem. Because of the human element and people think they can make money at the back of governments, these challenges will continue to fester. So what we should ask ourselves is, how do we stop the problem? How do you stem this thing in the tide? And One way the government has demonstrated that is with the use of this automation. We believe that this is the stopper, this will be the game changer to the many problems that we are facing. As I speak to you now, out of the 300 landing beaches we have across the country, we have 50 landing beaches that have this project completed 100%. Some have started using the devices. So I believe we need to elevate the discussions and we need to stop the politicization of the problems that we face in our country. We need to have a discourse that will look at bringing solutions to the problem. So I would expect that the former president will rather elevate the discussion. Let's look at the system we are proposing. Let's look at how we can solve the problem. That is a discussion we should be having, not to say it's being sold to NDC, NPP. Also, always keep coming back to the same problems. So it's about solving the problem. So we identify the problems, we acknowledge the problems, but an effective or a good leader is one who is able to solve the problem. And I believe this government has demonstrated far more than enough that is committed in solving the problem.
You heard the administrator of the National Premix Fuel Secretariat, Nana Abrokwa Asari. Away from that, the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana is currently in a meeting with authorities to address the government's prolonged delay in disbursing their 4-month-old allowances. The association contends that this delay has imposed significant hardships on teacher trainees, affecting their ability to meet essential needs such as food and necessary teaching materials. Despite these challenges, the association expresses optimism that its forthcoming course of action will put pressure on the government, compelling it to pay the outstanding allowances. The Progressive People's Party is advocating for the separation of the Office of the Attorney General from the Ministry of Justice as part of anti-corruption measures. The PPP is also urging the government to transform the Office of the Special Prosecutor into the Office of the Attorney General, with the minister serving as an advisor to the president. The Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabing, has expressed frustration over dismissive rulings in corruption cases, raising concerns about the commitment of the judicial system to combating corruption. The National Secretary of the Progressive People's Party, Remy Parko Edmondson, in an interview with City News, contends that the creation of the OSP was merely for propaganda, hence the call for reforms.
We believe that the best way to fight corruption is to separate the roles of the Attorney General from the Minister of Justice. We believe that the Attorney General should be the lawyer for the people. The Minister of Justice then can be an advisor. A separate person, separate role can be an advisor for the president. But in this current situation where the roles are linked, it is going to be very difficult for the same person to go after government officials, people from the executive, people from the ruling party, who are actually engaged in some activities or started in some activities of corruption. Again, on the matter of the special prosecutor, it was one thing we also had insisted long before, that it should be a truly independent role. Whoever offers the role is still tied or still connected to the Attorney General. It means that the position is not truly independent. And once the position is not truly independent, we've seeing the outcomes of it since Matinamidu. There's consistent complaints of government interference, which led to Matinamidu resigning, citing the president himself. So until these things are done, we believe that all these efforts are just cosmetic and just meant to just be able to chalk off a list to say that, look, you asked for this position, we've done it. But truly, there's no real intent to fight corruption.
Remy Parko Edmondson is the National Secretary of the Progressive People's Party.
This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM stories. We've been bringing you this hour. Minority in Parliament expresses fear Ghana could be heading into another round of economic turmoil as stalled negotiations with external creditors blocks release of second tranche of IMF cash, and over 60 shops raced down at the Racecourse Market a week after a similar incident at the French line section of the Kumasi Central Market. Still ahead, Ghanaians go to the polls tomorrow to elect the assembly members for the next 4 years. Meanwhile, some residents of Kumasi have expressed mixed reactions about their participation in the elections. We have details coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with your front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This offer has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant. And she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Abba, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV?
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
About to a rainy, gonna go to a bunny view. Easy about to a rainy, young go to a bunny view. Oh, your mamba, sorry, go to a bunny view. Easy won't say, gonna go to a bunny view. Everyone so say, I go to a bunny, but Assembly many unit committee members. To Abamane, I am Puntu Yuma. To Abamane, I am Puntu Yumo. December 19th, please prepare yourself to go out there and cast your vote. Oh, Mama Papa, 19th December, fellow Palon, so cop me your brain. About 200, no, Abambo for Yampa Sambasa, Yan voters ID card. To be a coffee, a bomb to my wapa. I can camera no, so your mamba. Got to a ban of you. I'm got to a rainy, gonna go to a ban of you. Easy about to a rainy, I'm gonna go to a ban of you. We your mamba, sorry, go to a ban of you. Easy bon, I say, gonna go to a ban of you.
District Assembly elections. Please go and cast your vote.
Are you ready to party? We'll lighten up the city on the 24th of December 2023 with the biggest all-white outdoor party. Situation 2023. It's time to unwind as the year draws to a close with a mix of delicious cocktails, good food, and the best DJs to give you back-to-back hits to keep you on your feet amid some incredible performances by the Chin Chin Band and not your regular DJ Flingo. The God MC Manifest, the dynamic duo Ketche, the crooner Kwabua, the rap doctor Ochiame Kwame, and the spirit-filled Perez Music. Get ready to let it all down and party your stresses away on Christmas Eve at the Situation All White Outdoor Party. Date 24th December 2023. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all white affair. Call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973 for your table bookings and seats. Make reservations now and come have an unrivaled experience with the most extraordinary party to end all parties this Christmas Eve. The Situation All White Party 2023 is powered by Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM in collaboration with GCB mobile app, and it's proudly sponsored by Chic and Grill, Belle Eyes, Verve du Vernet, Cartel Events and Rentals, Ebony Condoms, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, and Series.
She dey give me pressure. Myself and the wonder.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Electoral Commission says all is set for the district-level election scheduled for Tuesday, December 19, 2023. The elections are expected to take place in 259 districts across the country, except in Kwanzaa North and South. The Commission explains that this is because the terms of office for assembly members in these two districts are yet to expire, as they held their elections in 2021, unlike others who held theirs in 2019. At a press conference, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, revealed that staff and logistics have been adequately deployed for Tuesday's elections. We'll be hearing from the chairperson shortly, but some residents in Kumasi have been expressing mixed reactions about their participation in the elections tomorrow. While some say they will take part in the voting process, others attribute their inability to do so to time constraints, as they will be busy at their workplaces.
I'm aware we are taking elections, the district assembly elections tomorrow, and I am voiced that I'm going to vote because they actually create development, but we actually want them to understand that voting for them doesn't mean, at times when we vote for them, they hardly even listen to us. But I think they are the key holders of development in the society. They live with us, they understand whatever is going on in the society, and they have to carry the message to the DCs and the parliamentarians so that they can come to our assistance. So tomorrow I'm voting, and I am only hoping that most of the ladies aspirants are going to win, because we have few of them, about 28% of them contesting. I wish all 28 win, because we need more of those women in our politics.
When God permit tomorrow, I think they are going to be assemblyman election. And I stay at Abuabu, Adukrom, to be precise. And I have one man over there. We normally call him Yaru, but he's Mohammed something. But what do we know is Yaru. So definitely tomorrow I'll vote for him.
Those were some electorate in the Ashanti region. Let's now take a listen to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah.
Voting, as you all know, will commence at 7 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. in all polling stations across the country. All eligible voters are therefore expected and urged to go to their respective polling stations to cast their votes. Registered voters whose voter identity cards are missing can still go to their respective polling stations to cast their votes, since their particulars are already in the final register. And also their particulars have been incorporated and uploaded in the biometric verification devices, and therefore voters who have misplaced their voters' ID cards are still encouraged to go to their respective polling centers to cast their votes. As part of the Commission's preparations towards the conduct of the district level elections, the Commission undertook some major activities, most of which you are aware of, and we engaged you extensively on those activities. I'd like to emphasize again that voting will take place in all polling stations in all electoral areas across the country, with the exception of the Kwanzaa North and Kwanzaa South districts in the Bono East region.
That was a chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah.
The youth wing of the National Democratic Congress in the Upper East region has announced their decision to boycott Tuesday's district-level elections in the region due to unresolved concerns with the Electoral Commission's decision. The issues raised by the NDC youth wing include a disagreement over the number of personnel designated to manage the election and the insistence on using indelible ink during the voting process. Abraham Lambon, the Upper East Regional NDC youth organizer, stated that the youth wing is prepared to use all available means to halt the election if the Electoral Commission continues without addressing the raised concerns.
For the first time in the history of Ghana, that elections will be held without indelible ink, and voters who vote will not be marked with indelible ink. So assuming I want to create confusion, I come and vote, move a distance and come back again and say I've not voted. I'm in the queue, so I'm supposed to vote again. What happens at the polling station? A candidate who thinks that this particular polling station, I'm not popular there, I won't win there, and want to frustrate voters, can internally get about 10 or 5 people who have voted already, and they will come and pretend they have not voted. And you have no evidence to show that they have voted. And so electoral commissions should rather be seen, making the process easy for people to vote. That notwithstanding, the number of electoral staff have been reduced from 5 to 3. So they are compressing the number enforcing people, one person to play the role of two people. That process is also going to slow the process of voting because we do not want to have confusions and troubles at our polling centers in the region, especially in Buku, where we have small tension. If this process is implemented and people come, if you're not careful, the end results will not be good at the end of the day.
Abraham Lambon is regional youth organizer for the NDC in the Upper East region.
This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll be bringing you more on the district level elections tomorrow. And still on Citi Prime News, the Ghana National Association of Private Schools is expressing concern over the government's disregard for private schools in flood-affected zones within the Volta region. Professor Damasus Torosong, the national president of NAPS, says private schools in these affected areas should also receive aid from the government's relief packages similar to what is provided to public schools in flood-affected areas. During a visit to some impacted private schools in South Tone, Professor Torosong stressed the importance of the government's attention towards supporting private educational institutions equally alongside public ones.
Here within the Volta region, what we have observed is that the attention is being given to state schools, public schools, to the neglect of the private ones in this disaster situation. We are emphasizing that the private schools must also benefit from these budgetary allocations so that the child who attends the private school is not left out. We have information that a lot of the children who were displaced are not getting back to school yet. So measures have to be put in place to return those children and those measures should not just be for children attending public schools, but the measures being put in place ought to extend to the private school child as well, so that all children within the affected area can get back to school and learn.
That was the national president of the Ghana National Association of Private Schools, Professor Damasus Torosong. Now, as the District Assembly and Unit Committee elections come up tomorrow, Tuesday, December 19, Citi News sheds light on the participation of women aspirants aiming to secure victories that will catalyze significant developmental projects. There is more in this report.
We women, we are stronger than the men. Well, what woman can do, man cannot do it. But you people know it. Women are very strong.
Representing diverse backgrounds across Accra, these women passionately commit to advancing their communities through active political engagement. Historically, women's representation at the local level has been lacking. This has fueled concerns among stakeholders.
6,000 positions that were up for contest, less than 400 were women. This is in the last district level elections in 2019. Okay, I know for a fact that in Ashanti region presently, about 3,777 positions have been filed for contest. 211 are women contesting. Only 211 are women contesting, and you know that they all will not even win. So even if all 211 were to win, as against 3,000 in the entire Ashanti region, it is a huge disparity.
But what really could be the challenges and reasons why women are not partaking in these local level elections?
Some of these challenges mainly hinge on the fact that women play multiplicity of roles in society. And so sometimes juggling their household responsibilities, juggling their economic activities that will help them to sustain their families creates a barrier in terms of expanding the scope of the work they do to include public life. However, women have become conscious that the public life is equally relevant because the decision-making space is what determines how livelihoods can be assured. And so they actually are interested. But the partisan nature of our society now, where people are tagged not because of their commitment to participation, but because of whether or not they belong to Party A or Party B.
The women aspirants in the upcoming elections candidly acknowledge the challenge of navigating the political landscape, particularly in fundraising and overcoming societal perceptions.
The challenges I'm facing now is, it says I am a woman Gaddafi. You know, most of the time when you speak the truth, people don't like you, it's normal. But me, I will tell the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So the only problem I have is I'm being so hard, you know, like I'm a principal woman. And you know people don't like such people. So it's normal, I'm okay. Apart from that, I don't have any problem.
But after all these challenges confronting these women, the few who have boldly stepped up to participate in the polls show high enthusiasm. They express their aspirations, emphasizing a keen interest in driving developmental initiatives within their respective electoral areas. The increased participation of women in these elections is propelled by the dedicated advocacy of a few passionate groups.
As women in media, people will say that, but what is our role in, what is our interest in pushing for women's participation in politics? We have a governance program. We know that the media is an important tool for social development, and we also know that the media is the most important institution to serve as vanguard for the protection of our democracy. And if democracy must work, the media must be interested in looking at all the elements that ensures inclusion and diversity in our society and representation. And we cannot lose out on the importance of women's participation in governance. So we have a whole governance program, and our ambition is that we are going to advocate using the medium of the media for more women representation in governance.
More women are being encouraged to participate in local elections as they bring fresh perspectives to local governance in the country. Reporting for Citi News, Akosia Ochre.
As the world observes World Migrant Day, the Bono Regional Migration Information Center of the Ghana Immigration Service has extended its sensitization efforts on the negative impact of irregular migration to the streets of Sunyani. The celebration aims to shed light on the challenges faced by migrants. The Bono region has been noted for having a high incidence of irregular migration to Europe through the Sahara Desert. Superintendent Kofi Apo, in charge of the Migration Information Center, says it is important to obtain accurate information before undertaking any travel for the residents of the Bono region.
People would want to travel to go and get education, others to go and visit and look at interesting places. But what is quite predominant in our area here is traveling to go and seek greener pastures. And unfortunately, people are doing it through the illegal means. And this has, in fact, it is not for me to say, but people are just quite not comfortable with where they are. They want to explore new opportunities, and they think the sure way to be successful is to travel. In fact, benefits to traveling. When people do travel the right way and they bring in remittances, it does help the government to generate income as well. I mean, forex. But unfortunately, our people are using the illegal means, especially through Libya, Agadez, and the consequences are quite dangerous. And we want people to use the right means to travel. We are not saying don't travel, because traveling is good, but let's use the right way to travel.
That was the superintendent of the Migration Information Center, Kofi Apo.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has given reasons for his refusal to assent to the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2023 and the Ghana Armed Forces Amendment Bill 2023. The president cites financial implications on the consolidated fund of the state and a breach of Article 108 of the Constitution. The Ghana Armed Forces Amendment Bill 2023, a private member's bill sponsored by MP for Madina Francis Xavier Sosu, seeking to replace the death penalty with life sentence, was advised by the Attorney General to have financial implications on the consolidated fund due to the associated cost of incarceration. In communication to Parliament, President Akufo-Addo says the bill may need to be reintroduced to Parliament in the future. Here is the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, reading out the letter to members of Parliament.
In light of this significant fiscal impact, these bills should not have been introduced without prior fiscal impact analysis nor without my initiation or on my behalf. The absence of such an analysis precludes these bills from being properly classified as private members' bills. The legislative power entrusted to Parliament comes with the responsibility to ensure that all enacted laws comply with the constitutional provisions safeguarding the nation's fiscal integrity and upholding the principles of governance. Mr. Speaker, it is for the above reasons that I, in preserving the sanctity of the legislative process, refused to assent to the bills. I take this opportunity to reiterate my support for the contents of the bills and my intention for them to be reintroduced in Parliament on my behalf in due course.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, however, says the President was ill-advised on the bills and thus agrees with him on his stance.
The President has not been properly advised, and the President has not been properly informed of the processes these bills have gone through. So I will submit a detailed write-up on it for members to make their comments. But I'm very clear that this message and the contents are irregular, wrongful, and unconstitutional. The responsibility to decide whether a bill should come on the private member or not rests on the person presiding. The procedure in the Act clearly states what the President is expected to do when a bill passed by Parliament and is referred to the President, and the President refuses to assent to the bill. The provisions are clear as to what the President should do. It's not for the President to decide on the constitutionality or otherwise of a bill that has been presented and considered by Parliament.
You heard the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa here with Eno Safo. Still to come, Citi FM and Citi TV's rebuild phase of the Voter Relief Initiative reaches milestone at Pando Toko as shelter construction nears completion for flood-impacted residents. We have details coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
With the complexities of issues happening around us on a daily basis, it's the hard-hitting conversations and probing questions of the point of view that teases apart the twisted entanglements of politics and governance, as well as religious and social discourse. The Point of View brings you the policymakers and duty bearers and drills down to the very bottom of issues. The Point of View airs every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on Citi TV.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally.
Hi, my name is Stephen Appiah, the team coordinator of the Black Stars. I always like to keep hydrated naturally, every day, any day. S Natural Mineral Water does the trick.
Manufactured through a double purification process to produce pure, natural drinking water. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Now, about 200 individuals affected by flooding caused by the Volta River in Pando Toko within the Pando municipality in the Volta region are nearing relief as they prepare to move to the shelter facilitated by Citi FM and Citi TV. The construction is progressing smoothly, with the project expected to be completed and handed over by end of December. The city rebuild phase of the Relief for Volta initiative, made possible by generous contributions from dedicated listeners and viewers, has reached a significant milestone. The building is currently roofed and final finishing touches are in progress. Fred Duho has more in this report.
It is almost 7:30 a.m. here at Banduk Toko, and you can see on my shirt, Relief for Volta. This is the second leg of the project we are embarking on, where we are building shelters for the displaced victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage. Don't forget, this project is taking place simultaneously at 4 different places. Talk of Tokpo in the Bonkatamanso municipality, the Adan project, which is in the Adan East district, as well as the new Bakpa, which is a whole community on its own, comprising a school, a market, a building for the affected victims, and a whole lot of auxiliary facilities that we are putting up in the Central Tong district. Now, here in the Pando municipality, we are specifically at the Pando Toko, where the project is coming up so beautifully. The men are embarking on this project. They are not sleeping. They are giving it their all. And we see them doing the work as is expected. We understand this whole project from ground to this level took them about 3 weeks. And here you see the men on the project. You see the contractor also around. We see electrical products coming in. The wiring will take place very soon. But let's do a quick tour of the facility, and we'll also get the opportunity to speak with the contractor on the project, as well as some of the community folks. But now, let's see how this building looks like. This is a very spacious facility that can contain about 20 people. From what I see, it is so huge enough, well elevated from the ground, and the plumbing works is also going to take place. You see the space has been made for electrification. We've seen the wooden pegs already knocked to the wall, and that tells you that this project is going to complete, and it will be ready very, very soon for commissioning. And this is how it looks like in one of the rooms. Now, we see some of the workers who this morning are still working assiduously to meet the timelines set for them. Plastering is taking place in this room, and that is so beautiful. Aiko, how's the project going on? I mean, participating in this project, how do you feel about it?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Everything is going nice.
That is one of the masons slapping the walls with mortar, a mixture of cement, sand, and water that is trying to smoothing the wall and making it ready as early as possible. So almost all the workers here are giving it their very best. I see some gentlemen also here missing a whole lot of water. Charlie, how are you all? Everything fine? Nice. Let's go into the washroom and see how that place looks like. A very decent one, of course. I see the tiling on the wall. Oh, this is beautiful. The plumbing works totally done. The wall so smooth and beautiful. What a beautiful tile it is. Look at the wall. Oh, we have here, the toilet seat is going to be here, another toilet seat is going to be here. So largely, this is just beautiful. I mean, we can only thank our cherished listeners and viewers for contributing to this whole project. And this is massive. Let's take a look at the second one. Again, we see that's taking place here. Oh, this is This is so nice. So one side is for the shower and the other side is for the toilet. I don't know how to even describe this whole project. For a project to start from the scratch for 3 weeks to get to this level, tiling and everything done, this can only be God. This is so beautiful and awesome. And it takes a whole lot of dedication, commitment, and deliberate efforts on the part of management of Citi FM and Citi TV in conjunction with our cherished listeners and viewers to get this whole project to this level. Aiko, how the work they go on?
Cool.
They go on well, eh?
Yeah.
Nice. But how many times you put the work in a day or in terms of hours before the work gets to this level so fast?
We do hard. That's why the work go fast.
If you say you do hard, what be the meaning of hard?
We start work at 5 a.m. We close at 6 p.m. That's why the thing go fast.
That's nice. So, in your view, this whole project that you are also putting your hand in the labor aspect of things, what do you make of it?
I think the work is good. So far, so good.
That's nice. That sums it up all. So far, so very good. And you see them, all of them committed to the project. They say they wake up as early as 5 a.m. to start work, and they close as late as 6 p.m. And that is how come they've been able to manage for us to get to this level. We are going to now look for the contractor and then engage him. Where are we with the project?
We just finished installing the roofing sheets. We are yet to do wiring. I just brought the basins and the toilet bowls. They are almost done with the tiling works, so we'll be installing the toilet seats and the basins right away, as well as the doors, all today. And we will be doing the wiring and preparing for the ceiling works as well, and the inside plastering. Then for the outside, we are waiting for the facade to be done. We are waiting for the subcontractor to do the facade. Then we do the plastering as well.
How long did it take you to get to this level?
Okay, so we mobilized to site on 23rd November of this year, and this is where we've got into now. So from 23rd to today being 16th, that's how.
Barely some 3 weeks to a month?
Exactly. It's 3 weeks since we got to site, and this the stage we've got into, in the stage of construction. We are hoping that by next week we should complete the project and hand over. So that's our schedule, and we are working around the clock to make that happen.
Wow, one would ask, why at this speed? Obviously, we know people are displaced, they need shelter, but you are also giving it a certain level of commitment. Where from that edge?
Yeah, I mean, Citi TV is doing a great job trying to, get a place for these people to live. They are permanently displaced. So if we temporarily do this for them to have a place and a safe haven, then we don't mind. We will work around the clock and make sure we deliver for these people to have a good space. Then we go back to our space and also have a good living.
When we're coming, we're having that conversation with you. Where have you gotten to? Where are you at the moment? How frequent do you commute between this project site and Accra? More like 5 hours journey.
Yeah, so I come here mostly. I've been here like 3-4 times in a week. And my site engineer is always on site making sure everything is okay. So we always coordinate and plan. And we are still on schedule, and we are hoping to deliver by next week.
How did you engineer the project to this level?
By with the help of the architects, and then and also our internal team, and all that. So we've been coordinating a lot. Like every single thing to the very last detail is communicated and agreed on by all of us. Yeah.
How many men do you have on site working? Do you have some locals joining, or all your men are from outside? How is it going?
Oh, yeah. So, like, we brought about 13 men from Accra. Yeah, and then from the town to, yeah, like, we've got about like 6 to 7 people from the sites always coming to join us. Yeah, exactly.
That is impressive. Congratulations to both of you. If you said we are going to hand over barely in a week's time, what should we be preparing for?
By Wednesday, we should be preparing to paint. And we want to get it right in time before Christmas so that it will be like a Christmas gift from Citi to them. And that's why we are here every day doing that work.
I now get a picture where you are heading to. Christmas is just around the corner, and this is going to be our Christmas token to the very good people of Bando Toko. This is massive. Now, I see the architect around. Sum it up for us. How has the project been?
Okay, so thank you, viewers, for always supporting us with this project. 3 weeks ago, I was here on this site, and it's barely just a bare land with some. The contractor has really tried and done some good job. And looking at the rate at which they are working, the Christmas gift is indeed going to be a Christmas gift for the people of Bando Topo. It's moving per our schedule and per what we have discussed. Is doing everything on point. The construction method that he's using is very accurate, and he's doing a great job on site.
How difficult was it for you during the time that the people were displaced? As an assembly member, how were you able to coordinate affairs? And when the people were wailing, calling on you for help, how did you manage it all?
Yeah, it's a very big problem for us because it's an unexpected problem that happens. We don't know how to go by it. But through the effort of some philanthropists like you, we were able to see some relief items and then some certain things. Yeah, so we are grateful. But we hope there are a whole lot of things that will be coming so that we can let our people also feel at home so far as the project is concerned.
What do you make of this whole project?
This is like an answer to prayer. I mean, it's the speed at which this project has gone on is unbelievable. The quality of work and everything else has been very, very impressive. Yeah, so I'm very impressed by what I've seen so far. Yeah.
I mean, how much of a relief is this? We term it the second leg of our relief efforts, but to you as a leader of the constituency, how much of a relief is it to you?
It's a huge, huge relief. I mean, if you'd have time, you can go and see how people are squatting with friends and family, because some of the island communities were completely submerged. So this one is like I don't know how to say it. It's a huge, huge, huge relief where people can temporarily get a place to lay head without being in people's spaces. We are also thankful. And even for the fact that after the floods have subsided and everybody has regained their livelihood, we have uses for this place. We intend to use it as a vocational center. So it's a huge blessing to us. We are extremely, extremely grateful. We are extremely grateful for this.
You mentioned that the people are still squatting with other relatives and friends. Relief items that we brought in, I know may not last them that long. Who is now taking care of these people?
You know, we are still asking for benevolent people to assist. It's been very difficult, and especially on the parts of some of us who are seen as the leaders of the constituency. It hasn't been easy at all. As for Citi, Bando will forever be grateful for Citi FM. I'm telling you the truth. We'll forever be grateful to you because you have really changed our lives and brought relief to us. We don't take that lightly at all. We highly appreciate it.
And by extension to our cherished listeners and viewers, for that matter.
and the people who have contributed to this noble cause. It's a good cause. And I tell you, God will really bless them.
That report was put together by Citi News' Fred Juhu, and that's how we wrap up today's edition of Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. Please log on to citinewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Hawa Idris, and I was here with
Eno Safo.
Thank you very much for doing the listening. Do have a great afternoon.